on, everybody? You see me smiling? Why? Because it kind of sucks out here in New York City. They're expecting some big blizzard to come in, so I was kind of praying to the snow gods for worse weather to come in, because why? In worse weather, we get better. I'm kind of happy, but I was hoping it'd be a lot worse. I'm going to do a nice little run today, and no, I'm not thinking it's warm and 70. I like to live in reality. It sucks. It's about 7 inches of snow, and I'm extremely ecstatic right now. Pain is just a feeling. You see it's happiness? Why? Because it sucks. That's why I'm so happy right now. Merry Christmas. Another great day to be alive. I can experience heat. I can experience cold. I can experience love. I've experienced a lot of emotions in my life. I've also experienced a lot of hate. So I know how it feels to not feel like you're wanted, that you don't fit in, that things aren't fair in this world. I also know about the division. Some people love America, some people hate America. I get all of it. I don't care what you believe in. But there's one thing for sure. There's a lot of people who are the same color as you, the same religion as you, and the same sexuality as you, whatever you are, that died for this country so that you can have those freedoms. Whether they wanted to die for this country or not, they did, so you can enjoy your day, enjoy your life. There's a lot of finger pointing out here on why you haven't made it and why you haven't succeeded. This country's so free. Check this out. Someone that looks like me, that looks like you, that acts like you, the same sexuality as you, has made it in this world, has succeeded and become successful. So if you don't make it in this world, it's your fault. Stay hard. This morning I woke up with a slack-jawed, poopy pants mentality. I've been traveling an awful lot, kind of wore down a little bit. I believe in taking days off. I think days off are real important for recovery and all that stuff. But I don't believe in taking days off because your mentality is just feeling sorry for yourself. I deserve this, or I've earned that mentality. And that's what I was saying to myself. Today's self-talk was horrible. So we have, we all have one voice, and that one voice is very powerful. That says, "Hey, you've earned this. You deserve this. Take time off." All that stuff. Start developing the other voice that fights that voice. When it's not a designated day off, I don't care if it's running, swimming, biking, studying. If it's not a day off, don't take a day off, and start developing that voice that fights the weaker voice. So remember that we all have one voice. Work on the other voice also. When I first joined the military, I got some of the worst advice of all time. That advice was to blend in. Don't stand out. Make sure that, if they don't volunteer for anything, don't do any of that, exceeding the expectations, trying to be your best. And that mentality right there is exactly what keeps you at mediocre level. And I call it the blending in mentality. So if I had that mentality, I would have had, you know what, I'm okay at 297 pounds. I'm okay not liking to run, not liking to swim. I'm not going to try to be a SEAL. I'm not going to go to Ranger School. I'm not going to try to, push these limits in ultra races. Your mentality just stays there with the blending in. If you look around the society right now, there's a lot of motherfuckers who are blending in. You can see them. They're blending in. Change your mentality and never blend in. People ask me all the time how I'm able to be so vulnerable. I wasn't always this person. Trust me. I used to be embarrassed about lies I told, fucked up family issues, marriages I was in, things I fucking cheated on, things I quit. I was embarrassed about all that shit. So a lot of people had things on me, and they had power over me and could use this whenever they wanted to. And I didn't like how that felt. So I wanted to get to a spot in my life where I could put a fucking billboard up in the town I lived in with every fucking thing I did wrong, and let people drive by and see it. And I'm finally at that point. So when you get to that point, you kind of take that power back from people. But my question to you is this: are you at a point in your life where you can put a billboard up in your town and have folks drive by that? Stay hard. I get one question a lot: when will I ever be satisfied? I'm very happy, but I'm not satisfied. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and I'm very proud of that. But I won't be, you know what? I run past a cemetery a lot at home. And when I run past a cemetery, it saddens me because there's a lot of people there, not because they're dead, because of untapped potential. A lot of us die never tapping into our full potential. And I often look at wash rags when I'm wringing them out to hang them up as my soul. And I won't be satisfied until every drop of that wash rag, which is my soul, is completely wrung out. So in my life, I won't be satisfied until everything I have in me is completely out of me. And that's when I'll be satisfied. Trying to finish up my book here, going back through memory lane. I'm back in Indianapolis, Indiana, where it all started for me. One thing important is that we all have these moments in time that either make you or break you, that can determine the rest of your life. The rest of your life can be determined by one simple decision. 19 years ago, 300 pounds, I was spraying for cockroaches. I made a decision to try to be a Navy SEAL. My whole goal was to go on this path every day after work and to run a mile to a mile and a half. This rock was about the 0.5 mark in my run. This rock was a moment that should have broken me. I got 0.5 into it. I weighed 297 pounds. I sat on this rock and I had a decision to make. I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. There wasn't some inspirational quote. There wasn't nothing. It was me, myself, and it was freezing out here. I had to make a decision. The decision I make was to get up and keep on going. That one moment changed the rest of my life. And I'm getting tons of of these superficial, emails about people talking about, oh, I'm mad because I can't go to the gym. The gym's not open. I don't give a fuck. Do some fucking push-ups. I got people talking about, oh, I'm depressed. I've been at home too long. I can't get out of bed. I'm being lazy and I'm getting lazy. I don't give a shit. Be glad you don't have the fucking coronavirus. I have emails coming through bitching about I'm spending too much fucking time with my family. Be fucking glad you have a fucking family right now in this time. Be glad that your family's not in a fucking hospital right now dying of coronavirus and looking through a fucking window saying goodbye to them as they're dying. We have all these things going on in this world. And it's funny to me. This whole big world that we live in, and people are just focusing on one thing they don't have. Start focusing more on the things you do have versus the things you don't have. Be fucking thankful. Stay hard. We have major problems out here. People want to water down hardcore situations. Once you leave the house and your mommy and daddy and the comfort of your friends aren't there anymore, society will kick you in your fucking ass. So when I say bitch, I'm usually talking about myself. I've never talked about a female. On top of that, when I say fuck, it's a fucking hard world out there. I'm not going to say, hey, everybody, life is really tough. Therefore, please be careful out there. No, life will fuck you up if you're not fucking ready. Sorry, life didn't put nice silver spoons laid out for me. Therefore, my language is a little bit raw. Because why? In some situations out there in life, shit is fucking raw. You want the real deal? You want to hear the real deal? Come to my site. If not, go do you. Stay hard. A lot of people ask me, Goggins, what the hell drives you? What keeps you going? Is it racist? Is it this and that? None of that shit. I'm going to give you a quick story. 19 years ago, I was 300 pounds trying to find an avenue into being a Navy SEAL. I called up 7 different recruiters trying to get in. One recruiter told me it was unattainable for me. 300 pounds, too big, out of shape, all this crap. What I did was I wrote his name down. I wasn't mad at him. I wrote his name down. People try hard to put their own dialogue in your head. He didn't believe he could be a Navy SEAL. So he's trying to put that crap in my head. Write those names down, those people, and the unattainable for them. Once you attain it, go back and tell them how you did it. I just had an intense conversation about managing your expectations, how people need to manage their expectations, and about tripling down on your strengths and don't worry about your weaknesses. If anybody out there knows who I am, I totally disagree with all of that crap. I think it's crap, and that's exactly how the people in the world become weaker people. It's by capping your brain. It's by putting this kind of garbage in it about not attacking what you're not good at. It's about putting a cap on managing your expectations. If I lived that way, if I had any kind of thought process like managing expectations, I would be a 400-pound man by now, working some job that made no money, and I would never know my capabilities. I would never have become a Navy SEAL. I never took Ranger School. All these things I did. It's another early morning. You're probably thinking, I have so many videos with me putting my shoes on early in the morning. Well, the videos are all very different if you really think about it. Every morning, every day of our lives, we have choices to make. You have the choice to stay in bed, to say, forget it, I'm not going to work out today, or forget it, I'm not going to work hard today. You always have a choice every single day of your life. So it's a very different video because yesterday I made the choice to get up early and run, but today's another day. Today's another day that I'm faced with another choice to make. So I'm making the choice again to put my shoes on early in the morning and get after it again. So make the right decision. Around 16 years ago today, I was graduating Navy SEAL training. I was pulling off what I thought was impossible. I went to a recruiter's office, weighing 300 pounds, low self-esteem, trying to figure out how am I going to find self-esteem in myself. I said, if I graduate SEAL training, I may start the process of doing that. Went there, had to lose 100 pounds really fast. So my idea was to go out and run 4 miles the next day as fast as I can to start losing weight. I got to a quarter of a mile and walked home. I realized that all those insecurities, when things got hard for me, those insecurities came back. I had to do a live autopsy on myself to figure out what was causing these insecurities to constantly come back, constantly roost in my head, constantly dominate my every thought. Every time something got bad, every time something got hard, these things would always come back and haunt me. I had to figure it out and overcome it. A couple weeks ago, I did a video called Taking Souls. Taking Souls comes with a very particular look. And in competition, you're looking to break the other person down. And in breaking that person down, what happens to that person who's being broke down, they have an empty look in their eyes. I call it, you've taken their soul. You own space in their head. And owning space in their head means they're unable to perform at their best now because they're thinking about you. For instance, let's say there's a boxing match. 12 rounds, going at it, heavyweight champion. This guy's getting his ass kicked for 11 rounds. For 11 rounds, he continues to get back up and get back up and get back up. By that 12th round, the guy who's been beating the guy's ass, you can start to see a certain look on his face. His soul is leaving. If you can spot that look while you're getting your ass beat, you'll win the fight. Stay in the fight. If you're a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a medic, all kind of different professions in life, you have to recertify every fucking year. If not every year, every couple years. Almost every job in the world has to recertify. There's different kind of tools and knowledge that comes out. Everything is constantly evolving. As human beings, we are evolving. So you get those CEUs. So right now I'm at Moab 240. You gotta also certify or recertify as a fucking savage. So I had a hard life growing up. My life is good now. Don't need to do this shit. It's time to recertify as a savage. Stay hard. As you all know, the book came out today, December 4th. When I first set out on this journey years ago, I never thought, I'd be writing a book about it. That wasn't the whole point of this journey, was to write a book about it. I want to thank you all for the support. It's very humbling to see how well the book's doing. The whole thing about all this, man, is you want to find out what's inside of yourself. And that's all this was about. That mirror I talk about in the book, the accountability mirror, I wanted to see a real human being versus a fake motherfucker. and that's what life was making me. It was a fake human being. So, hey, I appreciate your support. Stay hard. Today is a very humbling day right now. I'm in Amazon right now signing my book. We just passed over 3.2 million copies, which is something I never thought I would do. I wasn't here. You know, I didn't do any of this to write a book, sell a book. And I was just doing it to change myself, change my mindset, and all the amazing stories I hear about people who've lost weight, people who are depressed, people who are going through hard times, that this book has helped them change their lives. So I really want to thank you all for, for purchasing this book, and second of all, for taking this book and making it work for you. You know, a lot of the work I did was hidden work. It was behind closed doors. So a lot of the work that we do in life, no one ever sees. It's between you and you alone. So out here in this journey, make sure one thing. If you were to write a book about your life story, make sure when you hand it to somebody, it changes their life for the better. Stay hard, keep grinding. Growing up, I had the fear of the water. So I wanted to overcome that fear. So I got this book. It was like swimming for dummies. So basically, I get this book, and the first few pages, it says, it teaches you how to float. So I get access to a pool. I bring my book. I put it on the gunnel. I do what it says. And basically, this book is teaching you to get comfortable in the water. And how you get comfortable is they want to teach you how to float. So I do all the steps. I lean back. I lay back in the water, and I lawn dart at the bottom of the pool. I come up. This lifeguard comes over to me. He looks at me and says, I taught a lot of people how to swim. Basically, you're doing the right things, but you want to fill your lungs up with air. So I do all that. I lawn dart to the bottom of the pool once again. When I come up, this lifeguard is laughing his ass off at me. He laughs at me, so I start laughing. He says, hey, man, you're fucked. I go, why am I fucked? He goes, because you're negative buoyant. So he's teaching me about negative buoyancy, positive buoyancy, neutral buoyancy, all this crap. He goes, but you can learn. So he's teaching me in the shallow end. And the shallow end gave me a lot of confidence, because whenever I get tired, I just stand up. So as I got better, the whole idea was we had to move to the deep end. But I feared the deep end. And back then, there was no mental toughness classes on how to overcome fears and shit. It was just don't be a bitch type of class. So basically, he moves me to the deep end. His name was Robert. Moves me to the deep end. And he starts laughing at me. He found all this funny because I was scared to death. For over a period of time, I get over my fear. And I learned a lot of lessons from the deep end. So I took those lessons I learned from the deep end and I applied them to life. Me and Robert stayed in contact for over 30 years. But I never saw Robert. We never saw each other for 30 years. We just talked over text and shit. So he tells me he's in the running now. He happens to be in my town. So he wants to go for a run. So I see Robert, and as he's texting me about coming to see me, all I can think about is the fucking deep end. And how this motherfucker unknowingly taught me these lessons. So now I want to return the favor. So we go out for a 15-mile run. And from the first step, I have Robert pegged. The fastest he can run, I have him there. We get to about 6-7 miles into the run, and I can hear Robert breathing. He looks at me and says, I am so fucking tired, man. Can you slow down? I said, I'm not going to slow down. Because you taught me valuable lessons in the fucking deep end of that pool. I'm now going to teach you valuable lessons on the deep end of life. So we're fucking running. And he completes this 15-mile run. He struggles. And when we get done, I sit back and I start to talk to him about the valuable lessons of the deep end and what that taught me growing up. And for all you out there, you may not be the best at something. And that is what the deep end of the pool will teach you. You may not be the best at swimming, the best at running, the best at learning, the best at anything. But it's very important that you look all of these deep ends in the eyes and face them. And make sure that you learn a lesson along the way. Stay hard. So yesterday, my girl put a post up of my feet and also my daily routine. I found it funny, so I reposted it. A lot of people found my feet to be funny, which I think they're gross also. A lot of hard work went into those feet. This feet, people, Just some hard-working, nasty-ass, salty, fucked up feet. Don't take it any further than that. Funny picture. A lot of people left some funny comments. I enjoy reading them. I read some other comments that looked like my feet touched people in a different way. Maybe it bothered them. You know, maybe it made them think about what they're not achieving, what they're not doing. But they put it on me that maybe I have a problem. Maybe I have an issue. Maybe I'm a masochist, whatnot. Take this time right now to think about one thing. When you leave those comments, are those comments for me or are those comments about for what you're not doing? Someone left a post up there about, hey, David, you know, you should just back off your shit. You know, 45 minutes of running is adequate enough. 30 minutes in the gym is adequate enough. 30 minutes stretching is adequate enough. Adequate is a word I don't fucking use. When I finally realized that we can be uncommon people in this world, I realized that adequate was out of my fucking vocabulary. Therefore, you can go out there and do your adequate shit. I'm going to continue going as far as I physically can. Last thing I'll tell you right now, they ask me, what are you going to do when you can't do it anymore? I'm the most grateful motherfucker you've ever met in your life. I have a whole bunch of autoimmune diseases. There's been several times when I couldn't do what you read I do. And I'm grateful when I can get up and take a shit. I'm grateful when my skin's not fucking itching to death. I'm grateful when my head's not fucking pounding and shit. I'm grateful when my knees don't hurt like fuck or my back hurts like fuck. So trust me, it's not about running. When that day comes I can't run, I'll be a grateful motherfucker knowing I gave every fucking bit I could. I drained the tank, and when the tank was drained, I went to look for more. Last thing, I'm not crazy, motherfuckers. I'm just not you. Stay hard.